Hey, we are on a roll here. We're at week 5, the halfway point of class, which means that it's full value demonstration day. So we're going to be starting out with the demonstration from a familiar face. We're going to be working again from this model, and we've already taken a close look at her in terms of her construction, in terms of our line drawing breakdown. And so we're going to take that line drawing and we are going to bring it into full value. So we can dive right into that right now. And then in part 2, you can look forward to a second demonstration. I'm going to give you a second full value demonstration from a male model after this. Okay, so let me talk you through what we're doing here. So we're just going to chat and take a look at this process of constructing the head now with full value. This is very exciting for us. I know that this is the moment you've been waiting for your entire life. And so I'm going through my process of hitting my darks then and hitting my landmarks so that I have the big view and clearly, I should say it this way, clear definition of where the major forms are going to be. That's what I'm targeting right now. So anywhere there really are dark darks, because they're just too dark and too hard to erase, I'm not going to come back and erase these out. I'm confidently putting them in so that as that drawing starts to get worked over, as it starts to disappear, I will still have those strong landmarks to hold my hard-won drawing in place. And by the way, this demonstration is going to last about a half hour. And that's pretty fast. That's you're not expected to do it in that amount of time, but it's a good amount of time for your attention span, I think. And so we're going to work this out in about half an hour. And so having hit my major spots on the features, I'm going ahead and identifying what's in shadow. I'm identifying what's in shadow, filling it in with my pencil. And you'll be using, I recommend your Ritmo pencil for this. I like to use a chisel tip. I like one side of the pencil to have a flattened tip so I can make the kind of broad strokes that you're seeing happening there. I can turn it on its side and make thin, tight strokes, or I can turn it on the flat surface and make broad washes. It makes it into a very useful tool. So you see me wrapping around the form, always wrapping my strokes around the form. So here are the 3 things that I'm specifically looking for at this point. First, of course, I'm identifying what's in light and what's in shadow as my simplest statement. Second, I'm making sure that those shadow shapes wrap around the form to suggest the volume and 3-dimensional nature of the subject. And the third thing that I'm looking for are the edges in between the light and the shadow. A soft curving form, as we've discussed, has a soft edge and a cast shadow with this point light source, because that's exactly what it is. We have a strong spotlight on this model, and so cast shadows, especially like the ones you see falling from her nose and falling across her neck, have quite sharp edges. And so that's a major indicator of what kind of light we have here, and it's a major part of her portrayal as being powerfully lit with strong patterns of shadow. So let me tell you, while you watch the demo progress here, I'll just let you watch, and maybe I can tell you a little bit of a cautionary tale about this sort of thing, because I had a student several years ago who was a very talented portrait artist. In fact, he was already doing some professional work at the time that he took the class. And I was really flattered that he thought highly enough of the class to want to take it, even though he was already at the beginnings of doing some professional work. So there was something that he did struggle with, because we all do. He struggled with exactly the thing that we've discussed frequently in the class, and that is our eye tends to notice how things vary from each other. Instead of noticing how everything simplifies clearly and unifies simply, we tend to notice how things vary. And I've said many times that where that's a useful trait in real life, it is the thing that kills us in the life drawing classroom. And so he, just like you and me, struggled with exactly that. And so as he tried to get these kinds of edges in that I'm talking about, his drawings looked very harsh, especially on a model like this. Female model, rounder, softer, fuller features. He would see these contrasts, he would see these hard edges, he would try and put them in, but he would unintentionally exaggerate all of them, accidentally, in the way that we've described. And then his drawings came off as feeling harsh and feeling unfeminine and not feeling soft. Well, he wanted to do portraits that pleased the sitter. I don't mean he wanted to cheat and make him look 20 years younger. He just wanted to do portraits that brought out the better nature of his sitters. And so, of course, he flinched from the harshness that was coming out of his drawings. But not understanding why they kept coming out looking so harsh, he fell upon a solution. And that solution was to soften edges, to randomly, without rhyme or reason, any crisp edge that happened in the form, he would automatically soften it. And that was not accurate to what was really up there, but it did make the model feel less harsh and a little bit, in fact, quite a bit easier on the eye. And so he fell into that bad habit.